Hello, everybody, and welcome to Virtual Bourbon. My name is Steve Akley. We have a fun event tonight. We're going to be trying the second attempt at an infinity bottle. So we did this a couple months ago, and the feedback actually was pretty good. I felt like I did a good job creating this infinity bottle. So I created a second one. So this is infinity bottle number 2. We'll see if the feedback is as good as last time. Certainly less people signed up for this one than the first time. So maybe people were blowing smoke. They were trying to be nice to me. And when it came time to set up for the second one, they're like, oh no, not again. So yes, we'll see how it goes. But it ends up being, when you're pouring these bottles, these little bottles for the events and stuff like that, sometimes I'll pour just the amount, and then other times I'll pour the entire bottle, and I mean, you have intentions of maybe putting it back in the bottle or something like that, but it never happens. It always ends up just sitting in there, and they sit around on my table where they're ready to go. They're lined up ready to ship, get pulled, and orders, wrap them up and send them out. But then what will happen is they'll sit there for long enough, and I'll be like, I gotta clean these up. So I'll get like a flat, I get like a soda flat, and then just start putting them in there and piling them up, and then put them aside and stack them on top of one another. You get to be a lot over time. Even if you're putting just half the bottles that you don't sell, that ends up being quite a bit. So yeah, I tried this infinity bottle thing, and I felt like we did good the first time. So we're going to do this one the second time. And I've got a special announcement at the end of this. Melanie, remind me if I forget to talk.
I will.
Yes. Yeah, so that's going to be a fun one. So that's going to be something we're doing with another infinity bottle approach. But for right now, how we're going to do this meeting is just like we did last time. So if you did attend the last time, we drank the infinity and we gave feedback on it. So we kind of did it a group tasting type of thing. So we kind of do what we normally do. We taste it as a group. We do nosing notes and tasting notes, finish that type of thing, and then we go through and kind of give feedback on it. Did we like it? Did we not? And then we move on to our other samples. Now, that being said, I sent you 3 other samples, and we'll only try one. So you get to pick out whichever one you like out of your group there, and try that and give feedback on what you think about that from a previous event. So we'll do that, and that's going to be the basically the format. You got 2 more. You can drink however you want. We do chat after the meeting here. Maybe you can drink those during that, or you can hang on to them for later, whatever you like. So those are yours to keep. You do with them what you like. It's your whiskey. So with that in mind, let's pull the infinity bottle over. And what I did with these is I took all these little 1 ounce samples that I had from these previous events, just like this one that I'm going to be drinking later, poured them all in the bottle, let it get some air, and for a couple hours, and then I capped it, and then I let it sit, kind of mix for months. That was actually a couple months I did that. Jim, you're big into the infinity bottle. Did I do that thing right? You think a couple months is good enough? I probably. Yeah. Last time we did that is when I packaged up the second bottle. So a good 2 months at least, kind of melding together.
I mean, I would generally say minimum of 2 weeks,
Okay.
depending on how much you're adding at a time. If you're only adding like 1 or 2 pours, so if it's a true infinity bottle where you take a drink and then you add some immediately to it, so you're only adding like 2 to 4 ounces at a time, then letting it sit for 2 weeks is plenty of time. Any more than that, I like to leave it sit for at least 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. So yeah, my 2 months is it sounds good then. So yeah, I wish I did 2 ounces at a time or whatever, but I filled up the bottle based on thing. But I did one of the things I like to do too is I use an oversized bottle. So I use a 1.75 bottle and put it in there, and put about 750 milliliters in there. So plenty of air in there. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Jim, what are your thoughts on that?
No, it's good. I like the air helps take the edge off too. I think it's going to work better than having a bottle that's completely full.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there's some science that goes on inside that bottle. I don't know what it is though. I'm not a scientist, just a guy who likes to drink bourbon. All right, let's get our glass here and let's talk about this one. What do we get on the nose? Seems pleasant, right? I mean, smells like bourbon. I mean, it's a oak. Spiced pear, yeah.
Maybe a little brown sugar. It has a really, really pleasant nose.
Yeah. Nose is very pleasant.
A little bit of cinnamon.
Cinnamon, yeah.
Pepper.
Pepper, yeah. A little spice there.
Let's say, did you have, do you remember if you put rye in there? Because I'm definitely getting some rye notes.
Yeah, there was some rye that went into it too. So yeah, so it's bourbon and rye.
Getting just a hint of bubble gum.
Bubble gum. Okay.
Yeah.
Which flavor?
Can you take it to the next step and tell us what bubble gum it is? You know, the ABV Network, we love our bubble gum notes.
Yeah. Oh, I forget the name of the bubble gum, the classic bubble gum. What was that? In the
Bazooka
red.
Joe?
Was that
Bazooka Joe? Bazooka?
Bazooka? Not Bazooka.
Double bubble.
Above.
No, that's not that. That's not what I'm just thinking about the single, the singles that you would get like at the store, just in their little.
Are they like a red, yellow, and blue?
Yeah, yeah.
Bubble yum,
That's double bubble, I think.
Oh, is that double bubble? Okay, well,
I
there
think
you
so.
go. Double
like
bubble.
bubble yum or double bubble, one of them.
Let's look up double bubble and see if that is correct. But that's what I'm thinking it is. So if we had Justine here, we would have her look this up really quickly. But we do not. So let's see here. So that's
Gingerbread, I'm getting a little
Oh, yeah, there you go.
gingerbread.
Double bubble. Yeah, absolutely.
gingerbread on the nose.
Yeah, a
too.
little bit.
So you know what? It seems like a nice layering on the nose, which is a good sign, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that seems to be pretty good. I like the fact that we've put a lot of things together, and it sounds like they're kind of keeping their own identity. So I think that's preferable when you're talking an infinity bottle, where you can pick up this layering of taste versus it's just kind of a slurry of flavors that are just kind of melded together. Nothing really stands out. So I like we have those separate flavors. So let's give this thing a taste and see if how we stand up taste wise on this thing. I mean, I may be going into business. This could be my new business. I think that's pretty good.
That's nice.
It's got a real nice finish too. It sticks around.
It's absolutely, yeah, that's absolutely wonderful on the finish.
Yeah, it just stays with you.
Nicely
You're
done.
You're getting some sweet notes like apple, and you are getting some oak to it too, which is good. It's not super sweet or anything like that. It's just, it's got some good things happening there. What are you guys getting on the taste?
Kind of all the nosy notes that we mentioned are coming through as well.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely some spice on the finish. It's really very tasty.
Yeah.
I'm getting some brown sugar, and
Mhm.
and I was initially thinking pear, but it's kind of morphing more to an apple now.
Yeah.
Or banana.
Mm-hmm. Banana, you say? Okay. Yeah. I get a little of that too.
Get a hint of banana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fred has done 2 barrel picks now for Buffalo Trace. What are your thoughts here as you taste this one, Fred?
I'm having a hard time pinning this one down.
Okay. That doesn't sound good.
Very
You don't think I'm Harlan Wheatley in the making here?
possible.
It could be. He may call me. He may watch this. I don't know if he watches videos on the internet, and he may be looking at this and be like, I got to talk to this Akley guy. He's good. Oh, he's good. No, I don't think there's any chance of that, but it's fun to think about. Clint, the new guy here, tell us a little bit about your thoughts on as you taste this one.
Yeah, I'm almost getting kind of on that finish. I'm getting almost a kind of a light molasses
Mm-hmm.
type of flavor to it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Not quite caramel, but more of that just strong molasses on the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Andy, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm picking up on some of that, the banana and the apple on the front end, and then on the back end, it's like I'm really noticing that cinnamon,
Mm-hmm.
almost like a red hot, like if you were just had a little red hot in your mouth. That
Yeah.
kind of is lingering on the finish, which is really nice, really nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That cinnamon gives it kind of a drying effect, but it's not in a bad way.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
overpowering at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting on the finish. That
Mhm.
Yep, yep, yep.
That kind of cinnamon. Yeah. And it sticks
Yeah.
with you. So yeah, it's really a
did-
nice drinker for being this random
Yeah.
group of 25
flavor.
different things. Yeah. Yeah.
The finish
Yeah.
reminds me a little bit of a real crisp apple cider. It's not real sweet and it's,
Yeah.
a little bit drying, but not unpleasant.
Mhm. All right, Jim, we're going to have you weigh in on this.
I like it. It's I give the standard Mr. Bill. I like it.
Yeah, where's he at
I'm
tonight?
definitely picking up on the the ryes that you put in there. Some of the spices coming through, and
Mhm.
some of the finish of the from that I would normally get from a rye or associate with a rye. Maybe not so much pepper, but definitely the spicier cinnamon.
Yeah.
It's got a nice finish. I like the layering, kind of like the brown sugar and apples and pears. I did pick up a little bit of banana on the nose. Didn't taste it so much. All in all, it's nice. It's a very smooth, easy thing to drink right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, pretty darn good. I've not been a fan of the infinity bottle, to be honest with you, because I always thought, well, I want to drink my whiskey, so I don't want to put it in something else. And what happens when I put it in there? What if it's not good? Is that am I just ruining what could be an enjoyable last pour out of all these things? But I don't know. I feel like these couple of infinity bottles I've done have been pretty good, and maybe I'm making my own case for it.
I got to tell you, it's almost never not good
Mhm.
unless you put something in there that's really, really dominant. So like the caveat for something like that would be, say, like a long branch, something along that lines, where it's got that real smoky mesquite flavor. If you add something like that, it's going to dominate whatever else you put in there. So if you're just keeping it to bourbons and ryes that don't have a real strong standout like that, there's no way you're going to ruin it,
Right. Yeah.
in my opinion.
Okay. So Clint, tell us your story. Tell us a little bit about you're new here. So how did your dad introduce you to whiskey, or how did you decide you got into it?
Well, he introduced me to this, but actually sort of introduced him to whiskey originally.
Oh, there you go. I like it.
But now I'm up in Dallas, and so I have kind of enjoyed whiskey, and especially as Dad has gotten into it, and has been able to experience some of the things that I'm not quite in a place to experience just yet.
Mhm.
He's kind of opened up my palate a little bit, so it's a mutual appreciation there.
Yeah. So are you into you can be just a fan of drinking whiskey, and there's nothing wrong with that. Are you also into all the other stuff, like the history and the stuff that we geek out on, the people of the brands, all that kind of stuff? Are you into that kind of stuff too?
Yeah. I'm a novice very much, but yeah, it's fun to learn about.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. I mean, I can't believe how much time we dedicate to whiskey between drinking it and attending these type of tastings, and we do events where we go tour distilleries and hang out. And all my friends now are bourbon friends. It's a crazy thing. So it's fun. So welcome to this is the bottom line.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
you
you.
being part of it, and hopefully you enjoy what we're doing here, and we'll see you on some more of these things.
Absolutely.
So this is that's it for the infinity bottle. Let's go around and thumbs up or thumbs down. Where do you feel here? We'll start. We'll go by what's on my screen here, the order that you're on my screen. So Jim, you're up first, man. What do you think? That's a thumbs up. Thumbs up. All right. How about you, Clint? 2 for 2. Fred, this is a big one for me. Yes.
Yeah. I liked it.
Okay. That's good. Melanie, thumbs up. All right. Neil,
Yeah, we're liking it.
didn't seem like an official thumbs up there, but I'm not sure. All right. No, there it is. All right. Andy, last but not least. What do
Too
you think?
busy drinking it.
All
Big
right.
thumbs up. I like it. I like it a lot. I think that's really
Yeah, it is really good. So I'm kind of surprised. So yeah, the big announcement is that we're not doing it. The format that we do this next time is going to be a little bit different. I got bold here, and I created 13 full-size bottles, 750 milliliter bottles that I'm going to offer. We're going to do an event like this where we all taste it individually. Of course, we won't have samples of each other's. It'll be everybody's, and everybody's is different. Again, using those samples from the bottles, and they're already sitting, they're already prepared and stuff like that. But we are going to send those out. So, but we're not going to list it on Eventbrite. It's going to be a private thing for club members and people who attended this. So I'll include what you need to do if you're interested in signing up for that. I'll include that, but it's going to be a pretty cool thing that there's full size infinity bottles and yeah, it's a pretty cheap event too. So yeah.
All right. So here's my question. Now that we talked about this a few times,
Yes,
did
sir.
you write them all down this time?
No, I didn't. I think it's part of the fun of not knowing. I don't know. I guess I should have. I probably should have, but I didn't. Because I didn't want people choosing one over the other. I was just going to be sent out randomly. So it's yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should have done that, but
It's just always interesting to see what's in the bottle, and maybe
true.
There might actually be flavors that you pick out
That's going to be the next event after that.
So
I'll
was
write down everything.
from
You get
a stag or something,
Yeah.
It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah, the full size bottle event will not have that, but the one after that is going to have. You get the full menu. So you gotta save something back, Jim, so you can have something to sell that the next time. So yeah, all right. Well, we can put that aside for now, and maybe we'll check back in later just to see if it still holds up with that much more time on it. For now, let's transition over to our individual offerings here. Again, you guys can pick out whichever one you want. We're going to have each of you lead us down the path of one of the previous events, things that ultimately make up things like an infinity bottle, those 1-ounce samples that were poured for an event, but were for tickets left unsold. So you can pick one at random, pick one that sounds interesting to you, and then you're going to tell us about it, because we don't all have the same thing. We've all got different stuff in theory, maybe some repeats because I'm pulling out of the same flats, if you will. So who wants to go first? Is there anybody out there who wants to fill us in on what they got?
We'll go first.
Okay.
Do you want to know what all our samples were, or just the one that we're going to taste?
Just the one you're going to taste, unless you want to share the other ones. That's too cool too.
The one that we decided to taste is Eagle Rare B.
Okay.
The other samples we had were Woodford Double Oaked
Okay.
and Big Distilleries versus Small Distilleries sample number F.
Simple F. Yeah. Sometimes you don't really know anything about it. That's the other thing too. Yeah. Yeah. And that will get into the thing when we do the official map is I don't know everything because they're just blind tastings on some of them. And I don't keep all the information to go back through the blind tastings. So even when we do the map of this, what's in it, that would be one of the listed ingredients, like sample F from this effect. It doesn't tell you a whole lot about what it is. So sorry. All right. So you're going to do the Eagle Rare. This is one where we compared Eagle Rare store picks to regular. I don't know if that is a store pick or regular because we don't have the information there, but tell us what you guys think about that one.
Good. Right off the bat, we get caramel, some oak, cinnamon.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice mouthfeel. Little spice on the finish.
Little
Nice
spice on the
finish.
finish. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. This is could be a daily drinker. I mean, it's good.
That's a good one, huh?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too hot, not too,
Yeah.
not too bland.
Not a
Yeah.
mixer, just needs
Not
to
a
stand on
mixer.
its own.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Eagle Rare is a classic bourbon taste for sure. Fred, have you ever had an Eagle Rare store pick you didn't like? People say that on the
I've
internet.
never had an Eagle Rare store pick.
You never have? What do you mean?
No,
How come?
never have. I've just had some Buffalo Trace store picks and
Yeah,
other brands, but I've never had a Eagle Rare barrel pick,
really?
store pick.
Really? Huh.
Hmm.
Well, that seems
I've
sad.
never had an Eagle Rare I didn't like though.
We're with you.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people will say they don't like the Eagle Rare store picks. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Is there really a bad Eagle Rare? I don't know. I can't imagine.
Haven't had one yet.
I think that's bull. People like to brag and talk on the internet, hear themselves. So, okay. So that one's good. Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's a pretty safe bet for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll jump down to Andy. Andy, what are you trying? And tell us what your thoughts are on it.
So I have 70s Jack Daniels 90 proof.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that literally the history on that one was that was on my parents' bar. So my parents had parties in the 70s, kind of quit after that as my sister and I got a little older, I guess. You know how things are when you got a family, when you're first married or when the kids were young. Like my sister and I were in the 70s, we were young. They still had parties and stuff like that, but that waned by late 70s, and they didn't really have parties, and that alcohol just kind of sat there, and that was one of those that sat there, the 70s Jack Daniel. So
okay,
yeah,
interesting. So and I will confess, I was excited to see that because I've just had the opportunity to try a few different bottles from the 70s, and I really like the older bourbon. I like the complexity of it, and just seems, I don't know, it seems a little different than the newer stuff.
Okay. And where do you fall? And of course, what you're drinking is just regular Jack Daniels. Now it's a different proof in the 70s versus what it is now. But what are your thoughts on grabbing a bottle of JD Black off the shelf today and trying it?
Yeah. So
I'm not really a fan. I'm not really a fan of that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like their barrel pit. I mean their barrel strength stuff, but yeah, the just regular JD Black is definitely not my thing.
Yeah, I would say I agree with you. I'm not. I haven't had a lot, and so I tend to go more towards the small production distilleries, and
Yeah.
so I would not typically get Jack Daniels.
Okay.
And but this is really nice. I like it's got you can definitely tell the caramel and brown sugar and all the typical things that you see, but then the finish is kind of it's not real long. It doesn't stay with you as long, but it's nice while it's there because there's a few layers to it. There's definitely some molasses, just a little bit of a fruit that you get, but more dark. It's a little darker. So brown sugar and molasses type finish, and it's nice. I like it. It's not, and it's got a little bit of spice on the end, but it's smooth. And that's kind of what I find with a lot of the stuff from the 70s. It's it's just smoother.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that the corn is going to be different back then, so the grains are different, and like I said, the proof is different. There's a lot of things in the favor of that thing. And I remember from the event too, again, it was a test, and a lot of people say that, they don't like Jack Daniel's Black. So it was a good opportunity to try that, the new product versus something that, from, 40 something years ago, and compare and contrast. And yeah, as I remember that event, very similar to what you're talking about here. People really liked the 70s JD. And so it didn't change their opinion on what's being offered today, but said that there's the good stuff was from back in the day for sure.
Right. And so I will mention real quick, I'll give you a little bit of a shout out because Jason Wickel has been in several of these, and he's actually in Lexington right now doing the Bourbon Trail, and which is why he wasn't on tonight. But he said you just got some sweet corn bourbon, and so he brought that over and we tried that. That was delicious. It was really, really tasty.
That's like life-changing, isn't it?
It is, and it's like 120 proof, and it was wow. I would never ever guessed it.
Yeah, I absolutely love that stuff. That's one of my favorite whiskeys. And matter of fact, we've got an event coming up where I share my favorite whiskeys from the last 2 or 3 years. I think I might go back maybe 3 years, but since we're early in 2022, probably 3 years on the calendar. But really, that stuff is amazing. And the process, if you learn about what Jason has to go through to make that stuff, and of course his family is they own farms, but they're not farmers, so they lease their farms. But then part of the agreements is they get the grain, the seeds, and then they sell it. So what they are is seed dealers. So they have access to things that other people don't. And they take advantage of that. They take advantage of that with the sweet corn because they realize no one can produce the amount of it that they need to make something like that. And then they have this crazy philosophy of they want to make the greatest whiskey that's ever been made. So they have the 650 gallon still, and literally their yield out of that, because they do the center cut, like hearts of the hearts is what Jason calls it. And he'll get like 8 gallons. He'll do a run of a 650 gallon still, which you should yield about 10% is the normal yield when you're talking about a still. And he'll get 8 gallons. And so he's got to fill up a 53 gallon barrel, he's got to run that still 7 times. So yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
But man, it makes some good whiskey.
it does. It is
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah, very, very unique. And yeah, I got that for Jason, sent it to him, and then he was like, but sign me up every year. So
Yeah.
it was like he wanted that. So what's cool about this year is that's scheduled to be a holiday release every year. And here you're thinking, well, wait a minute, it just came out and this is April at this point, but they ran into some supply chain issues. They couldn't get the bottles that they had tried to get. So what they did is they doubled their order, and they have enough for what was basically last year's release, which didn't come out till now. And they'll be back on track for this coming year. So that will be out on time sometime in the holidays, the 2022. So basically we're drinking the 2021 here in April of 2022, but that they're not going to change. Jason's going to release that this fall in the holiday. So very cool.
Cool.
It's a bonus year, if you will, for that product, which is cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Clint, how about you? What are you going to be trying? What did you get there?
So I have the July 15th, 2021 Big Distillers versus Small Distillers L.
Okay.
And so what I'm getting here, it's really fruity for a whiskey, and I'm on the nose. It's a lot of cherry, almost kind of a maraschino cherry, and then some raspberry too. Yeah, it's really big fruit, maybe a little bit of apple in there as well, and pretty, just a very clean nose. And then on the palate, you really taste that cherry, and it's got a longer finish than I would have thought from the nose of it. It's really kind of rounds out in your mouth, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And kind of, you get a lot of that, the raspberries and cherries up front, and then it kind of fades into brown sugar in your mouth, which is really pleasant.
Yeah. Absolutely. So what are your thoughts on that? Is that it sounds fantastic, by the way. So but I don't know, does it play out as well as you made it sound?
Yeah, no, it's really it's different, and in a really good way. It's a really interesting whiskey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it.
Okay. We might have to look that up. Everything is archived on our YouTube channel, of course, and you'd have to watch part 2. That we do this series called the Project Series. And that one was one where we're doing big distilleries versus small distilleries. It's 3-parter. So L would be in part 2, I believe. So yeah. So L would be part 2. And
Do you remember if Traverse City was in that?
I don't know. They might have been.
Sounds almost like a Traverse City.
Yeah, it could be. But yeah. So that's very interesting. So yeah, we'll have to find that out, because that sounds like a good one for sure. Based on that. All right, Fred, what are you thinking? What are you going to try here?
I have the Ezra Brooks Caitlin pick.
Okay.
107 proof, one of the gift shop finds.
Yes, it is. It's a gift shop find. Yep.
And real spicy on the nose. I'm getting some burnt caramel.
Okay.
And I'm getting that on the taste. I mean, there's something I can't pick up. If somebody would say the name of it, I would know, but kind of earthy a little bit. But it's pleasant and real, like I said, a lot of spice. And same thing on the when I taste it, I'm getting that same kind of burnt caramel taste, and real spicy finish, a nice finish, kind of lasts in the mouth. I like this.
That's good. Yeah, I saw that in the gift shop at Lux Row and picked that one up. And yeah, it sounds like a good pick for sure. So
yeah, kind of musty, earthy, but it's a pleasant musty, earthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Sounds like a good one. So it sounds positive. Is that the case, Fred? Is that a thumbs up?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right.
For sure.
Let's jump up to Jim and see what Jim got here.
I've got big distilleries versus small distilleries sample R.
Okay.
And when I first started nosing it, I was getting a real heavy scent like like they do at Distillery 291 with the Aspen stave.
Uh-huh.
So that was coming off of it first. Now it's kind of morphed into a like a juicy fruit and a banana, a little bit of like honeydew. You know, it's a very sweet nose.
Mm-hmm.
On the palate, I'm definitely getting a lot of vanilla on the going down. You know, still getting some juicy fruit. It's very pleasant. It doesn't have a super long finish. I don't think it's very high proof, but you know, it's definitely very drinkable.
Okay. It sounds good. Is that thumbs up for that one too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're doing good. The one I got that I picked out of the box randomly here, this was from 10/13/2021, so last fall. This was following my vacation the previous summer to Florida. This was the name of the event was Stuff Steve Found in Florida. So this was a whiskey called Old St. Pete, comes in at 88 proof. Old St. Pete 88 proof. So I just did some shopping while I was down, took some time away from the beach to go to the liquor store, which I like to do anyway. So yeah, I told my wife I'm working though. I got to go to work. So on the nose, this one, I mean, it's good on the nose. It's like creme brulee. I mean, it's pretty bold on the nose too. So that's a good thing. I can't say I've always been a big fan of Florida for whiskey. The other one was Texas, though I feel Texas is coming up these days. So for our Texas guys on the thing here tonight, you go back 5 or 6 years ago, and a lot of that Texas bourbon was, at least I thought, wasn't good. But as I try that stuff now, I think they're starting to hit their stride. So there's a lot of good whiskey coming out of Texas. As a matter of fact, Iron Root, that's as good as anything you get out there. So so they're really moving up for sure. All right, let me try this one. See what we got here. 88 proof, Old St. Pete. Let's see what we got here. It's very sweet, caramely, brown sugar, all those certainly type of notes. Not really any finish at all to speak of, and just okay, just okay for 88 proof. I mean, that's definitely not my favorite proof. I like a little bit. I like in the 100 range or higher. So it feels a little bit watery on the palate. And yeah, and definitely got some of those tannin notes that you get from a little bit younger whiskey, which makes sense. I mean, they haven't been in business a long time, and you give a little bit of forgiveness to the younger distilleries in hopes that they're on the right path and going to make something really great down the road. So, but yeah, not definitely not horrible. So maybe they're headed in the right direction, and that's when we check back in with in a few years and see where Old St. Pete is at. So I think. I'm not going to say I'm going to do neutral. All right, first neutral vote of the night. It's just okay. So, yeah, there you go. What do you think of that? Pretty good, huh? Pretty good. All right, let's go back and let's revisit that infinity bottle one last time before we end our official part of the event. And I mean, even different things on the nose this time. It just continues.
Pick up a candy note on there.
Yeah.
Like candy.
Mm-hmm.
It's much sweeter nose this time.
Yeah.
Definitely got sweeter.
Definitely got sweeter on the nose. All right, let's try it. Last one, last try. Cheers, gang. Ooh, that is really good. Man.
Yeah.
It's kind of fruity. I mean, really good. Outstanding. I thought it was really good last time. It's even better. Tastes even a little bit different. Yeah. What do you think, Fred? Do you think this holds up on the second taster?
It sure does. I drank most of it before, but I got a little bit of a corner there, but definitely.
Yeah.
And it's really nice and full bodied.
Yeah. It's not bad. Not bad.
We've been getting some orange now.
Yeah, I think there's orange there, definitely.
Yeah. It's like it's more of a an aftertaste, and after, kind of, I'm not getting it immediately. It's as I'm swallowing it. It's kind of,
Right.
right before the finish, I'm getting that orange.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, kind of the
That-
zest.
I didn't
right
catch
off
kind of the
tongue.
first time. No.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's gonna be great old fashioned.
Great old fashioned. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Clint,
that
what do you
was gorgeous.
think on the second pass through on this one?
And it definitely holds up. It's not as big on the front end, but it really just it lingers, and it's got a lot of layers to it.
It does. It really does. Andy?
Yeah, no, I don't have much to add. It's really nice. So I really like it. It definitely got a little sweeter after
Mhm.
sitting out, and but I wasn't sure what I was picking on. But when you said orange, it's like, oh, boom, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that nailed it.
Yeah.
That was, yeah, it's nice. I really like it.
Mhm. For me, Jim, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but for me, the orange is almost like those orange slice candies. You know what I'm talking about?
I was
Versus like a
actually thinking
citrus
about that.
orange. It's
Really, really
sweet and
sweet.
orange, but kind of like that candy versus a true orange.
It's a little tart too. So it's almost
Yeah.
like it's almost like even like a twist where it's the orange oil out of the peel, not straight up orange.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Don't
it's
get
really good.
nearly as much cinnamon as
No, right.
first
Yeah.
round.
Kind of the cinnamon is kind of dissipated, if you will.
Kind
So
of went back to the fruity.
yeah. That's why we like to, taste and then let it sit and taste again. Cause there's definitely some evolution that
I think
happens.
you got better on the second run.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah.
I think I could win an award with this, but again, it's lost to the ages. It's gone. It's gone. What are you
Well,
gonna
if
do?
you can remember how you made it, if there was only a way to keep that recipe around.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That would be key. So good stuff. So yeah, I mean, there it is. There is part number 2 of the infinity bottle. Again, next time it's going to be different. We're going to do full size bottles. So I think it's going to be really fun. I'll send out all that information will be sent out via email. Again, not posted to the Eventbrite because we don't have a huge amount of them. We got 13 tickets to sell. So I think that's going to be the best way to handle it. Put it out to the club and put it out to you guys that attended this event. So appreciate that. And with that, we'll say goodbye again to the audience here. I'll stick around. We'll talk bourbon, talk whiskey, anything you like, but we'll turn off the recorder for now because that concludes the tasting portion of the show. See you guys.
Bye.